Ooh, I really feel like I kind of nailed that intro. I'm not going to lie. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Technically Speaking Live. It is just Wednesday. It is only Wednesday this week. I am your host, Scott Peachy. You can see all my socials right here on the lower thirds because I added a lower thirds, and I don't know why, but I'm glitching a little bit. I also am trying to do a little bit of crazy... I have so much tech in front of me. I have a TCL that I'm using as a stream deck. So like I'm trying, you saw it with the intro, the lower thirds that you see. I added stats as lower thirds. I added a timer. I went a little crazy, but let's just bring stats in. Oh, you saw that? It worked. Oh, snap. Whoa, look at this. Looking good. Stats, what's up, brother?
You are absolutely right. It is only Wednesday, but that means it is time for your favorite show of the week, coming at you live from the 1% studios in the deep, dark, dank basement of Lord Peachy's Castle.
What's happening? What is happening? We are going to have a special guest on the show today. That person is said, sweet, running behind, be there shortly. Not a big deal at all. Let's hit the comments.
Not a surprise.
Vito and Miss Pixelpia, hello. First, Mr. Vito, absolutely for sure. We're going to talk about, let's see, the show notes for today include the Samsung Knights are after me.
Duh.
Doesn't really surprise me, I suppose you could say. Pixo Jumbo Jack. Jumbo Jack. We got, I was tagged in this a few times, which is from This Is Tech Today. His Twitter exploded yesterday, and The Verge also saw another explosion as it related to a video viral leak from the Pixel 6 Pro. IKEA for electronics, don't know that one. It's the Smarky. Smarky? Smajarky.
Something like that.
Smajarky, sure. I keep running my big fat mouth as it relates to an audio-only live show. So what's the holdup? Listen app, Clubhouse, Green Room, Spaces, oh my god, and a postrich in a pear tree. A postrich. What? A postrich.
Partridge or ostrich.
What's
Pick
a
one.
Postrich?
I mean, an ostrich in a pear tree would look quite entertaining. Maybe we should rewrite the 12 days of Christmas between now and our Christmas show.
Oh, good Lord.
12
Tim
days
Cook
of Pixel?
Is on the 12th day of Pixel, what Google gave to me.
A Pixel Fold.
A Pixel Fold double. Tim Cook is pissed. Surface Pro pre-orders were today, and Billie Eilish's face everywhere in your house. Oh, Apple gives retail employees discounts. Also, also bonuses.
Maybe.
Also bonuses.
It's not 100% sure.
What do you want to talk about first?
Well, I think we should leave the phone stuff until Mr. T.O. gets on board. So let's talk about the IKEA thing real quick, because that's a good general,
Okay, you take the IKEA thing. You were excited about this when you were telling me. I wasn't listening to you, but you were excited.
So IKEA announced 3 days ago, that they are coming out with the Sjomarke.
I think the S is silent, isn't it? It's like Mjolnir.
Yeah, sure.
It's Smiarki.
Which is you're still pronouncing the S.
Well,
which is their version,
which is the hammer from Thor.
Yeah.
It has a mule in front of it, so it has got the M. It's also got MJ.
So you're saying the J is silent, not the S.
I guess. So Smiarki.
Yeah, there we go. So IKEA is coming out with a wireless Qi charger that you can mount underneath a desk or a table or anything else that you're using, but you don't necessarily want to take up real estate on top of that surface. And the Qi charger is powerful enough to send the signal through that. I don't know if it works through metal, probably not, maybe, who knows. But they demonstrated on a wooden surface so you can mount it underneath and then charge your phone just by placing it in the correct spot on the surface of wherever you mount that Qi charger. So could be kind of cool, if you're into that minimalist look or minimalism lifestyle, but you still want to have all your tech charged and ready to go all the times. You have a nice, clean, clear bedside table with a lamp, maybe a book, and your phone, but then you mount the Qi charger underneath, and you have no wires to deal with to clutter up.
I think wireless charging is overrated, though.
I mean, nobody's questioning that. Wired charging is always going to be best, but if that's a look you're going for, or if you work off a tiny little desk or something like that, in your spare bedroom or closet or something like that, everybody's trying to get their work in wherever they can these days. This might be an option for someone.
Right here you go. Barber Cuts says it best right here. IKEA is the only furniture store that can get away with selling food. I'm going to guess that this is Mac. And their food is phenomenal. Also, crazy good food. Costco.
Amazing. Love it.
Their pizza is unbelievable. Why do we always go to food? Go ahead.
Do you really want to answer that?
I just said it straight up for you.
Because we chubby.
We chubby. We own the triple C thick.
As a former songwriter wrote, like a fat kid on a cupcake.
What? Former songwriter? Is he just not a fat? I love you like a fat kid love cake.
Yeah, something like that.
That's the lyric. It's
I know, but isn't he out of the game now?
50?
Yeah. I thought he lost like a battle in sales and
I
quit.
don't know about that.
Or was that just a marketing stunt?
I don't know.
Anyway,
our guest has arrived.
Oh my goodness.
He has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
Cover your eyes.
Cover your eyes.
Avert your ears.
Oh, didn't add that guest. Let's get rid of this first one here, and then let's add in Mr. Tech Odyssey. Adam, what's up, my friend?
What's up, players?
How are you?
I am great this fine evening. How are you doing?
Some could say that I'm just peachy.
Oh, God. That's just awful.
Most wouldn't, but some could.
Oh, wow. Good evening, everybody. The chat is popping off.
Is it?
Yep, Miss Pixelpia has nothing to do with Mjolnir. It has nothing to do with Mjolnir. It's translated sea marker, like out of the sea when you are boating. See?
Okay.
Pixelpia
I
knows
would not
what's
have
up.
got that from that, but I do live in America, and I don't.
Pixelpia, she knows what's up.
You don't speak Northern European?
Welcome to the show, Michael. Miss Sheila, yay!
No.
Mac, what up? And Michael Daniels, what is the good word? So, I got a lot of things. You are a Samsung guy.
Who?
You.
Don't accuse me of that. I'm an everything guy.
You are an everything. That's fair. You are an everything guy. But the Samsung Knights came after me. I have more dislikes.
Gee, I wonder why.
I have more dislikes on the video that I put out on Monday. Yet somehow it has one of the best view rates, CTRs, the whole nine
That's because
yards.
of the controversy. Like, anytime you have a video where there's a lot of likes and a lot of dislikes, it is good for engagement. Like, I have one that people utterly hate, and it's one of the best videos I've had in years. So it's just one of those things. Anytime, like, if you've got a lot of positive stuff, if you have like kind of equal positive and negative, it actually would probably be much higher in views.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
See, like I'm more positive. Like I'm a positive dude. I don't like to think of myself as a dude that kind of gets down on the luck. But like the Fold 3 bummed me out, man. And I know I DM'd you a few times. Like it bummed me out. Like, man, it was. People are talking about like, well, battery life is subjective. Yeah, I hear you. But like when a whole lot of people are going, the battery life's bad.
Yeah, battery life is not. Yeah, battery life is not bad. Battery life is not what you would expect for a phone of this caliber. And I saw your video, and I was like, okay, I don't really think it's quite fair to compare. Like the Pixel 5, the Pixel 5a has like what 4680 milliamp battery or whatever,
yep. Uh-huh.
and then the Fold 3 has a 4400. So, I mean, not that we're going to quibble over 280 milliamps, but when you have two screens and you have one that's gigantic and 120 hertz,
I go with what I got. That was my narrative.
Oh, for sure. I know your narrative. But yeah, I But the thing is people that are going in the shopping cart are not going to Best Buy and putting a Fold 3 in there and going, when they get to the counter and realize they need that extra $2 for a Snickers, they're not replacing it with a Pixel 5a.
Fair. That's a fair statement. You're not wrong. But my big thing is I truly did give it a shot as a productivity device. And like I did do Teams calls, like, because I spend most of my waking time during the day on the telephone. Like that's where I spend.
Sure, I do too.
I was gonna say you and I are a lot alike in those instances, and I am far more forgiving with a Flip and its battery life than I am the Fold, just because my expectations of the Fold, and part of that could be because of the price point.
Well, the funny thing is too. We'll circle back around to that. But the funny thing is, when you look at the Flip 3, it only has a 3,300 milliamp battery.
Right.
When you get 4 hours or 3 hours and 45 minutes out of 3,300 milliamps, and then you go to 4,400 milliamps or 44 on the Fold 3, and you're like getting 4.5, and you're getting like an extra hour. You're like, okay,
that doesn't seem fair.
Sucks, but the Z Fold really sucks. Like, and that when you look at it that way, I don't think that the Fold 3. Here's the thing. They try to say it's the most best productivity phone ever. It's okay at multitasking. I'm not going to say it's amazing for productivity, but it's great at multitasking.
Yeah, I tried to go for the productivity, like multitasking, no question. Absolutely, it is geared for that. But I wanted to use it as a productivity device because, I mean, quite honestly, the real estate, when you open it up, it was super beautiful, like the inside screen. And I even said this in my video. I gave it a lot of credit in the beginning to say, look, I know people crapped all over the screen on the inside. I actually really thought it was nice. That was just my personal opinion. I really liked it, even though it had a very sketchy-ish screen protector that was installed. I got past it, like looking at Excel, looking at PowerPoints, because I look at a ton of PowerPoints every single day. It was very easy, pinch to zoom, go in and do what I needed to do really, really quickly. I really liked it for that. But when I'm trying to do that in a Teams call and Outlook, and you just can't. Like, it just, the battery life was like, brrr.
There is no phone. The problem is they like to pitch all these things with the idea of using a phone for productivity. If you're doing one task, it's okay. But the problem is that most people's work can't be done on a phone. So until we get over this whole everything's built for a desktop platform, look, depending on your job, if you're a social media person and that's all you do, it's the perfect phone. It's great. Mm-hmm. If you're a data analyst, it's useless. So it's all subjective. Like, there are things that I can do. I like using it for certain things. Like, for a YouTuber, it's perfect. You can do all your creative studio. You can make thumbnails. You can record with it if you want. I mean, it's okay. But I mean, really, using it all day long, there's not a lot of phones out there that are going to get you more than 5 hours of screen on time anyway, unless it has an eye in front of it.
Even then, that's
I
guess have the eye and then the Pro Max behind it.
Yeah, well, like my iPhone 12, I probably get about 5.5, which I think is fair. Anything over 5, I think, is pretty exceptional for what I put it through. I mean, the thing is they can do all these software mitigation things that give you better battery life, but unfortunately, the almighty screen on time will ruin that every day.
Yeah, it 100% will ruin it every day. So you saw probably the Pixo Jumbo Jack. Have you heard about this?
Is that what they're trying to say is going to be the foldable?
Yeah.
One of them. There was another article.
I heard this rumor too. Yeah.
Yeah. There's currently 2 different rumors floating out there about foldables.
I would tell you, if they call it the Jumbo Jack, I'm buying it.
That's what I said too.
Jumbo Jack or Jumbotron, because it's
such
foldable
a baller
into a
name.
big ass screen.
If they call it like the sourdough Jack, I'm buying 2. But if they call it the Jumbo Jack, and then what they can do is the Pro model called the Jumbo Jack with cheese.
I really like the idea of the Jumbo Jack. The idea, because from a hardware perspective, and I kind of hinted at this in my Samsung video, but from a hardware perspective, if we got that very smoothish hinge, the inside screen that looks a lot about it, very similar real estate, very similar hardware. I'm thinking hardware like the Fold 2, not necessarily the Fold 3. Like when you open it up, I think if you have that with the Pixel experience at a price point like $1,200, now we're talking about getting more mainstream in terms of the
We can play
foldables.
ball.
Yeah, we can absolutely play ball because then you're just a couple $100 more than a Flip, or definitely better than a Razor.
With Google and this Tensor chip, they're going to want to build out as much stuff as they can with it for scalability, and so they can bring down that price tag, and so they can really, whenever you get everything on the same like economy of scale, and that's one thing that Apple's been doing. It doesn't even matter if it doesn't need an M1. If you're going to buy a million, like 10 million M1 chips instead of like, well, we got an M1, we got an A14, we got an A. If you can just put them all on the same chip, regardless of whether it needs it or not, you're going to save a tremendous amount of money. And ultimately, the end user with that level of performance is the winner.
And that's when you're going to start to see is like, I think once they start to enter in, and there's rumors about this too, is getting the Tensor chip on Chromebooks. Chromebooks are,
that'd be cool.
That is a big deal. Like that is a really, really big deal when it gets to that point, because again, the economies of scale that you talked about, they can get millions more of those chips made because they're going to push the Chromebooks to education. They're going to push the Chromebooks because their affordability perspective.
Well, and maybe we'll finally get an update to the Pixelbook.
Oh my God, Pixelbook is so gorgeous, but maybe they'll actually lower the price.
And please, like you said, a good price. And that's the thing. Like most people that use Chromebooks have such a bad taste in their mouth because all they see is those crappy $99 to $179 HP ones that all these elementaries and junior highs have. They're garbage. And that's most people's first experience with the Chromebook. Yeah. I actually love the Galaxy Chromebook, especially the one this last year, the 2020 model. Mine had the i5 and it had, or did it have an i7? Whatever it was. It was like the fully maxed out one, and I love that thing. Like I used the crap out of it. Yeah. And I ended up selling it whenever I got my Galaxy Book Pro 360, which I like a lot. But I actually have the Surface Book. I think it's the Surface Book Go is what they call it.
Yep.
Mine's coming in later on this week, but it's got that Snapdragon like 8CX processor or whatever it is in there. It's got the ARM chip in it.
Okay. Yeah, as soon as they can get away from like those types of chips and again going to those types of scale, that's when you're going to start to see the price points come way down. Not to say that they're going to be really high, but anyway, if you can get the chips and everything, if you can hit that $1,200 mark with the jumbo jack, then we're at that point you put the pressure right back on Apple, and you would put the pressure
like them and Samsung. Like Samsung did a good job this year. They still were a little cheap on the cameras. Like
their trade-ins were bad too.
It depends. So actually, older stuff, and I saw what they were doing. They really are trying to get new people on board. They weren't trying to get people with the Fold 2 to get the Fold 3. They're trying to get people with the Note 9, the Note 10, the S10s. All those guys, you were getting really good trade-in value. You were getting like $550 for a Note 9, and for an S20, you were getting like $550, or you're getting like $600. Like there were some really good trade-in values for much older Samsung devices. So I like the plan that they had. It's very, very effective. Like get people over that aren't already using these foldables, lower the prices, get them out there in mass. Because I saw a rumor the other day, and rumors they are what they are, but you know, some leaks about Apple maybe pushing foldables back to 2024. Now, I don't think that Apple's going to give Samsung 6 to 7 year head start on foldables.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. That doesn't make sense. But you can see here we're already on the third generation, and there's nothing other than what you see with Microsoft with the Surface Duo and possibly the Jumbo Jack on the horizon. So there's just nothing seriously that competes with them in the space. So I see why they're trying to flood it as quickly as possible.
This is one of those situations where if you keep giving them space, this is where Apple starts to get, you got so far ahead with the watch. If you're starting to give them that much time, you're getting way ahead and you're never going to catch them on foldables, even if your name is Apple. So moving from
Samsung, I think it's smart they're being aggressive with this because clearly the rest of their sales are eroding. I mean, you looked at, so the S20 series was terrible compared to the ones previous to that. But then you look at the 21s, and the 21s were a dumpster fire compared to the 20s. So, I mean, there's trouble in the neighborhood. And
It's because I got rid of those notes.
I think it's good they're pushing this, and I really would. I think we're going to see the Note again.
You think so? Okay.
There's too many people that don't like the foldables yet, especially not with the fact that, look, I got the Fold 3. I bought the stupid Fold S Pen. The day after I bought it, I lost the cover for the S Pen, and then within like a week and a half, I lost the syncing S Pen. You're gonna have so many people going and buying these suckers because there's no way to attach them like internally on the phone. They need to fix that.
Okay. All right. So the piece de resistance, the thing that I got tagged in a couple times. No, I didn't do it because I don't have it. Pixel 6 Pro with the weird insignia on the back. So this is Tech Today. Tweeted out a video specifically around this video. Let's see if I can try to. I don't think I can pull it up with all three of us on the screen. But
we can go to stats and you.
Huh? No, it's fine. Stats will pull it up and drop the link in the in the chat. The idea is around Brandon unseen hands-on photos in a video that we later found out it was from Nigeria. It was from, I can't remember where it was from, but it was from another country, not one of those ones that Google accidentally released themselves or anything like that. But this is a black and gray version of what appears to be the Pixel 6 Pro.
I saw that. It looks good. I like that graphite looking color.
I do too. I don't know how big of a fan I would be of shiny shine.
I'm surprised you haven't seen that one, though, because I know you're on the Pixel 7 Pro already.
The joke
today, Adam, that one. Hell with it.
The joke today was that he already has the jumbo jack, but since we talked about it, we can't really make that joke right now. I
literally don't.
So. If he had the jumbo jack, he would have eaten it already.
Oh,
jumbo jack with cheese, my friend. Jumbo jack with cheese.
He's going to send that wrapper back to Google. There's no phone left.
Wow. That's just... It's aggressive. It's aggressive.
I love the way that it looked. Outside of the glossy fingerprint mess that it looked like it could be.
But
hey,
we're all going to
put it in a case, okay?
Yeah, because of the bump. You have to put a case on it, or it's just you're going to ruin it.
But it had like...
Here's one thing I respect, though. At least it's uniformly horizontal.
True.
At least it won't wobble.
That's a good point.
Like if you put my iPhone down on the table outside of the fact that...
God, it drives me crazy.
Oh my God.
I'm not looking for, like, one thing I liked, and I'm just going to bring in my regular Surface Duo, enter stage left. So you can see there are no bumps on the back. It was so nice you could just put it down flat and you don't have to worry about it. But now it's going to have that janky camera module on the back that looks like they took. It looks like they took one of those little like engineer's knives or what are they called?
X-Acto
knives?
Yeah, no, not those. Like the fancy ones that they use for like I don't know what they're called. I'm drawing a blank, but they're like the shiny stainless steel ones. They just got the little blade on the end, and people use them for like.
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm. I know.
I'm drawing a complete blank on it, but it looks like somebody took that and just popped the camera module off of a Note 20
and slapped it on it
and glued it on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it seems like so ill-conceived. Like whenever I saw those leaks, I'm like, these things are obviously this isn't a leak. That looks like a 4-year-old did it, and now it's the reality.
So the special, I had a couple of people ask me, like, what's the special marking? The special marking essentially is saying that this is a prototype. Uh-huh. Now, how far along in the prototype it is?
I really don't think that it's that big of a mystery at this point. I mean, it's already passed through the FCC. Anything that passes through the FCC is 30 days imminent. I mean, this thing is going to be here. We know it's going to be here next month.
Well, when you look at this compared to what they actually are putting out in the Google Store in New York City, I mean, if you just compare,
it's real close.
if you just outside of the colors, if you just look at the fact that it looks like what it looks like, and then you look at the ones from New York that Google is openly showing you in the store,
they're like sitting in the window.
They're sitting in the window. It's like outside of the color difference, a lot of that stuff looks the same to me. It is a glass sandwich. When the person was flipping it over, it was obviously running Android 12. And it had like a very, very, like the way that the screen like molded into the edges was just, I'm freaking excited. Okay. Like the idea, like when I saw it, it was like, the triple camera on the back. Like
Google has to do this because here's the thing. They have such a hard time competing in the slab space, but who is competing in the folding phone space? Nobody other than Samsung. So if you can't beat them, you might as well join them in the completely, like the pool that's not crowded. You can totally make a name for yourself there. There's only one option right now. So if you're option number 2, and here's the thing, Google is not poor. They're freaking rich. So just throw some money at it and make it happen.
I don't know how big this person's hands are either, but like when I'm assuming it is a he. That's when the person flipped it over to show the display, it had major Note vibes to me. It had a Note looking like front end. That's just me. I don't know if that is a good thing or a bad thing. Maybe that is an angle, like you said, to your point, where Google, if they don't put out a foldable, the jumbo jack, maybe they could say, hey, Note 20 users, you miss it. This is roughly the same size. Again, I don't know how big the person's hands are.
Yeah, Google has tons of money. And that's what gets me. Google could compete so much better if they would throw some more money at these problems. Like, take a loss on some of these products just to get them out in the market so you can build some market share. It's not going to hurt them.
Well, and so you and I have talked about this, is I think what they have to do is get super aggressive with the trade-in. Like, they've got to get super aggressive with it.
Everybody knows that the smartphone market is beyond saturated. It's like there's New Orleans, and they're like slightly below sea level, and then there's the smartphone market about another 12 feet below that. So they have to be very aggressive to get people to switch over because nobody's just going out and buying a new phone. There are more phones being produced than there are human beings going to go purchase them.
Yep.
It's like 2008, and they couldn't move the cars off the car lot. So you got to get people a reason to switch over. If you can get a folding device like that, that's cool. If you can be really compelling with the Pixel 6 and the 6 Pro, yeah, get some people that have low-hanging fruit with an iPhone 7 and iPhone 8. Get those suckers to switch over. Give them $500 for their $200 phone. I don't care, but that's the best way to move people over.
And see, to me, that's the easiest. Is to, like you said, give them $500 for their $200 phone. Like, yeah, you're taking the $300 loss, but
at the same time, if they were to take all those trade-in phones and either remanufacture them, resell them, or if they just stripped them for their parts and the precious metals and reuse that in their supply chain, then they could make a statement about being better for the planet, being better for the environment, taking stuff out of landfills, yada, yada, yada. There's other ways that Google can really push themselves forward and make more of a statement in the mobile technology market. They just have to choose to.
They've got to do something. They've got, like, I still think that they have to be aggressive on the trade-ins unless they got the jumbo jack, like, right behind it. I just need it.
See that next month. If we see that, I don't know. There's been so much speculation. There was speculation a year ago, and then they're like, well, it's not happening this year, and then there's more speculation.
Well, they've had speculation on that Pixel Watch for what feels like a freaking eternity, and that thing has never seen the light of day.
Well, I think they realize that even the way that it is now with Wear OS, you go out there, it just doesn't compete well against Apple.
I was gonna say I have Wear OS, and I can say that it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. It's okay. But every time they take a step forward, they're still 5 steps behind the Apple Watch.
To me, it's the inability for Google Fit to radically understand how I move. Like, and I don't move a lot.
Slowly.
I don't move a lot. But when I do move, I don't take just 1 step when I take 11. Or I don't take 23 steps when I take 2. Like, there's got to be a little bit of better nuance with the actual understanding of how a person moves, and it's just not there. From a notification perspective, it's fine. Like, I get my notifications.
If you're just going to be a notification watch, that's fine, but sell it for $100. Quit this $300 BS. The thing is, when you look at what Android does with Wear OS and with Tizen and all that crap, when you look at iOS and the Apple Watch and Watch OS, Apple is beyond almost the hardware perspective part of it. They're trying to build this out. You got Apple Fit, you got all the Fit Plus, you got all these crazy things they're doing that really integrate your watch into your day-to-day like living. It's not just notifications, and Google is stuck at notifications and actively do, like, okay, yeah, so you can do the one lead ECG thing. Okay, you could already do that like 3 years ago with Apple. That's where they're going. That technology is not new, but at the end of the day, when you get home with your Apple Watch, you don't want to take it off because you use it for everything. And when you look at an Android watch,
I'm just not there.
It's basically for notifications.
Yeah, like I can pay for my coffee if I do that. But honestly, I just fire up an app and pay for my coffee before I walk in. Like, I'm to that point. You know what I mean? Like, I don't use it to, yes, I could use it to pay. Yes, I could use it to track my steps. Yes, I could use it to track my workout. But
you can do that with your phone.
Exactly. And like, that's the thing, is like, I'm not gaining anything by doing it, but that's always been my problem with the Apple Watch too, is like, what am I missing? Like, and this is because I've been on Android for so long, is I don't know what I'm missing, but if it's just a notification watch, or if it's just a notification thing, then I don't want it, because I've already experienced that. But if it's
I made a joke when they were talking about the Apple Watch 7. I'm like, I need them to come up with the update where it actually gives me benefits without actually having to work out. Because that's what half the things are.
Insta-buy. I'm going to tell you what
all three of us need,
Insta-buy.
Like, if you look at the Apple Watch, like, it's just a judgmental piece of technology that is rude to me. Like, get up. You haven't walked enough. It's 11 o'clock. Go walk around.
Kiss my ass, watch. I've worked all day.
Yeah, you didn't close your rings. You're not breathing enough. Oh, you might have atrial fibrillation. You know what? Screw you. Let me eat my Taco Bell.
Your Jumbo Jack.
Let me have my heart attack in peace. Thank you very much. That's what I want.
Look, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm clumsy. Quit judging me.
I'm going to allow you guys to judge me in this next section, as if you haven't been judging me already.
Can't wait.
Judge you your whole life.
I know. I continuously run my mouth.
Fact.
Yeah. CNN fact checkers have determined that that's true.
I continuously keep bringing this up, and I haven't done it yet. And then I did it yesterday on accident. I keep talking about, I want to do an audio only live show. Like, I have podcasting equipment all over the place here. I got a Zoom P4 pod track. I've got 4 microphones within the earshot of me. I've got stuff to record on a mobile, on an iPad, on a MacBook, on a Windows machine. I could use the Listen app. I have access to that app. I could use Clubhouse. I could use Spotify's Green Room. I could use Twitter Spaces. And yet, here I sit and not getting off the pot. What is my issue? What is the issue here? Free shots at Scott.
Are you talking about turning this show into
not
a podcast?
This show?
No, he's
no.
He wants to. All right, so you want my honest take?
Yeah.
You are anxious about missing out on a certain segment of the population.
Shit just got deep.
That is using these particular communication platforms to their benefit.
So you're saying FOMO. I have FOMO.
A little bit.
Well, so it seems a little bit more than a little bit.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily call it a fear.
Stats.
You're just anxious that you are not available on all the potential channels that you could be.
That is deep.
So, you sometimes speak before you think.
Me? Never.
Sometimes you push the go live button before you mean to, like you did last night, and then you immediately canceled your Twitter Spaces before I could even join. After you begged me to join,
Oh,
so
here
you
we
wouldn't
go.
be by yourself.
Here we go. So what I tried to do.
Join? I mean, he probably just had to bring you a 40 from under the bridge and tell you to put on a flannel shirt.
Well, flannel shirts are nice and warm these days. At least my home under the bridge doesn't flood every hurricane.
What I meant to do, I started a Twitter Spaces, and it went live immediately. What I wanted to do, because at the time it was 8:15, and I wanted to schedule it for 8:30, and I was like, oh, okay, go. Yeah, you can schedule it in the future, because I was in the car. So Monday through Friday, my daughter has a swim team, so we're always basically there in the evening. Late.
So the problem is, it doesn't sound like it's the platform. It just is you and your reading.
This is exactly what it was. It was unequivocally human error. Like, it was nothing to do with Twitter Spaces. It had everything to do with the fact that I just didn't do it. And Pixel Pia says, just do what I did, start an audio and video at the same time. I did think of that, actually. I thought about clipping a wireless microphone to my shirt and to Stats' shirt. Sorry, Adam, you wouldn't be included in this at the moment. Just clipping it right here and basically firing it up, on an iPhone or a Pixel or whatever, and then just letting it go. I thought about that. Talk about? That's my thing. It's that's what I struggle with the most. It's like I could talk about Pixel. I could talk about.
Why don't I don't? You're already doing a podcast. Like, what value or what extra time do you have to bring to the table to actually do another hour a week?
I don't.
Thank you, Adam.
I don't. That's the thing.
I'm not trying to be rude. I mean,
no.
I know you can sit there and talk about something for an hour, but
what's the value? Like, what am I giving? Like, what am I going to give you? Like, well, first of all, what value do you even get at the hour that we're talking now?
I was going to say that. I mean, you got like routinely 17 watchers, and I'm one of them. So I'm like, where are you going to find these guys?
Got 23 right now, but
that's because I'm here.
Well, and two of us, so that's 20. 20 actual watchers.
Don't pay any attention to the 4 windows I have pulled up over on my MacBook. Don't pay any attention to that. No, but like, dead serious is one of those situations. So I'm really big. Like, I think the big thing that I want to talk about is the unspoken side. This is the idea that I was kicking around in my head earlier. It's the unspoken side of what it's like to do this as a hobby, but also as the potential. You call it a hobby, but it's way over 40 hours a week. It's way over a full-time job.
Oh, for sure. I probably would be good on that show because I don't have a lot of unspoken thoughts. But I mean, if there's unspoken stuff there to be had, you can talk about it.
I don't know necessarily. It's the things that a lot of people don't put out. So it's a show really about other individuals. Like, you and I talk a lot about how this is not necessarily the easiest thing. It's fun, but it's a different level of work. It is still just that. It still takes work to do it.
Well, I mean, is this something that you feel passionate about enough that you can sit down and every week come up with an engaging thing to talk? Like, sit down right now, get a notepad, and if you can get 10 topics, then I think we're in the ballpark. But if you get 3 and you're like, I'm tapped out.
No, I really do think that there's a lot of conversation, and I think that it morphs, right? Like, it's got multi-levels to it. It talks about I do this as a hobby. Like, okay, but then there's a level underneath that talks about why do I truly do this? And like, I can go down the multi-levels right now to where it's the point of, I'm doing this. This is going to be whoa deep here for a second. I'm not willing to give up this show because then at that point, that means Greg is gone. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a whole other level of that, of mental health that I'm not really ready to go down that path yet. And I think I'm not in the minority on that. I think there's a lot of conversations that can be had about the mental health aspects of being a content creator. because it's just you and the camera most of the time.
Well, and I think, especially in today's day and age, with what we've all gone through over the last 18 months, reaching out through all these different platforms, whether it is on YouTube or Twitter Spaces or Instagram Live or Clubhouse or anything like that, allows people who may not have the option to connect with people on a level that, even if they could go out of their houses, even if they weren't immunocompromised, even if there wasn't a global pandemic that's killing thousands of people every day, they may not choose to do that because of other reasons, mental health, physical health, whatever. But this type of social interaction, this type of connection is so vitally important to the vast majority of the human population. There are some people who can get by with it with no social or human interaction on any given day. There are people like that.
Wow.
We are not those people. We like to talk to other people. We like to be seen doing things. Otherwise, we wouldn't be on camera right now, bearing ourselves to the rest of the 21 people who are watching. So,
Lost two.
yeah.
It got too deep. It got too deep.
So
I
my
closed two
question
windows.
Are we talking about YouTube and content creation, or are we talking about just creating a space to connect with people and, you know, create a platform for discussion and
Great
and
question.
just, reaching out,
Yeah,
building
it's a great question.
relationships, people talking. And two, I mean, are you in a I mean, I'm not your therapist here, but I mean, you in a place where you can deal with that level of,
Oh yeah.
whenever you connect with people and you get into those conversations and topics, I mean, there's some heavy stuff that comes there. I mean,
Yeah,
is that
yeah,
something that you want to deal with on a weekly basis?
I like the ideas, like if what I say can help somebody, then I've done my job. I've said this 100 times. You guys have heard it 100 times. The people in the crowd, the 22 that are here, have probably heard it a couple times. The purpose in my life is not the work that I do, even the content that I make here. The purpose that I live in life, my purpose is to wake up every day and make a positive impact in at least one person's life every single day. A lot of the time, I can do that before I even leave the house, or what used to be leave for work. Wife, kids, things of that nature. I can make a positive impact in their life before they even head off to school, which means every other person after that I make a positive impact on is gravy. It's all gravy at that point, because I've lived my purpose. I've done my purpose, but I don't want it to just stop after that one.
What it also sounds like to me here is not only that you want to create something like this, but I feel like a little bit you want to create something of your own. Like I know that you had the show and with what you and Greg had, and
That's fair.
Not this is going anywhere, but I mean, as creators, there's also a part of us where we want to own something. We want to, like, there's a sense of satisfaction, and also like we want to do stuff like that. And I think you're looking for an additional outlet.
I love the concept of an audio only podcast. I don't know why. Like, I love doing YouTube videos.
You don't
like,
have
I
to
love
put a shirt on.
I don't have to wear clothes.
I
I have a great face for it. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
I do.
You've got hair for television, but
all
the rest
three of us have great faces for radio. I have phenomenal hair for television.
I have phenomenal lack of hair for YouTube.
I think you got
I'm
plenty
somewhere
of hair.
in between.
Somewhere in between. The rank of hair goes the way that it is right now.
Yeah, like Stats is going like this, and mine just decided to aggressively attack this one side.
No, but I love the idea, like, and this is why I think I keep thinking about the audio only podcast, because the last thing that I want to do is create another channel on YouTube of videos that are outside of what I do here, and then put this type of content on here. Because as you know, the algorithm would be like, Murr.
I mean, if we're going to be real, the algorithms are already like,
Look, the algorithm is killing me the last 90 days. It has absolutely murdered me.
I got to tell you what, and I had the best month ever this last month.
Yeah.
And all of the Apple stuff in the last week has destroyed everything back to where it was like before I was having success a month ago.
Are you serious? The whole thing's gone.
Oh yeah. All of what was great in the month of August is I'm already back to where I was before August started.
Ugh.
That quickly, because of all. Not only does the Apple stuff kill the new content, but it also kills the other stuff because it's pushing like I don't really do a lot of Apple, iOS, iPad, whatever related stuff. It's mostly Android. So I knew this. I talked to other people about this because I have YouTube discussions with people all the time, and I said, hey, as soon as this stuff comes out, like a few days beforehand, it's going to destroy everything that we're doing right
Yep.
now for like a month until
You
it
did
all
say
levels
that.
back out. Yeah, I got a
mean,
pretty good understanding of how this stuff works.
I'm really looking forward to Pixeltober, Googtober.
The funny thing is, like, I really enjoy Pixel content. I really like the phones, but I get no love from like these videos. Like I made like 5 or 6 Pixel 5 videos. I made like 5 Pixel 4a videos, and they're all like 700 views, 800 views, 1100 views. Like I can't get traction on this to save my life.
Well, I mean, so let me go. Let me settle. You rest your weary head, my friend, because you talk about getting 800 views, 1,000 views, 1,100 views. I'm the Pixel guy, and I still get that.
Yeah, it's just when you look. I don't know what it is. I guess maybe like Google Pixel fans are just uninspired and don't watch YouTube. But there's not a lot of views to be had there. Like it's like Samsung. You throw Samsung at the wall, there's a million people watching it. You throw Apple stuff to the wall, and it's like, hey guys, I got my Google Pixel lunchbox, and you get hit by a bus.
Well, Google Pixel lunchbox. Now I want a metal Google Pixel lunchbox. But I mean, you proved it. You just said it. You kind of not beat the algorithm because that's not what you were attempting to do. You did try to beat it into submission though by doing God knows how many. I can't even imagine how many videos you had to do. At least 35 videos that month.
42.
40. So okay, I was short. 42
Lord
videos.
have mercy.
Average more than one a day.
Your
and
poor
so,
wife.
She's doing Tesla. Tesla.
Tesla stuff.
I
Tesla
mean,
stuff.
anytime I'm recording and not in the house, she's winning. So she's like, make all the videos you want, baby.
When I called Adam earlier, she's like, "Yeah, get him out of the house. I don't really want him here. I want to be able to do my own stuff." It's like, okay, whatever. My wife's the exact same way, so she's gonna come home and she's gonna be like, "I really just don't want you to talk to me because I really want to watch my movie." It's like, whatever.
I mean, she knows I'm not going anywhere, so anytime she doesn't have to spend with me is actually a win. It's like she's not going to lose me. So here, go play in the street as long as the bills keep getting paid. It's like, when you were a kid and your parents wouldn't let you in the house so it was dinner time.
Oh yeah, I get it. Did you hear that Tim Cook is really pissed? You hear about this?
I heard that, but I mean, any CEO is going to be mad whenever your information is leaking out. I mean, leaks used to be one of those things where just like us nerds really enjoyed that stuff.
Yeah.
And now it's like it's consumer entertainment on a much larger level because people are like, oh, the new stuff. So, I mean, any CEO is going to be pissed whenever their stuff keeps leaking out because that means you've got employees that are going out and passing information to people.
He says in his memo that he wrote to his whole entire email, which, by the way, every CEO on the planet has to understand, when you write one of these, the whole world is going to see it.
It's also going to get leaked.
It's all, yeah, of course. It says, I'm writing this today. I'm writing today because I've heard from so many of you. You were incredibly frustrated to see the contents of the meeting leaked to reporters. This comes after a product launch in which most of the details of our announcements were also leaked to the press. I want you to know that I share your frustration. Well,
do you, Tim?
Do you though? Like,
do you really?
Do you know how hyped people were
with
getting
your
for your content?
billion stock options? Do you really care?
I doubt losing sleep over that, but as a leader, you have to say that stuff because yes, everybody signed NDAs. Yes, that's a corporate culture. Yes, people don't want their stuff leaked out to the public. They take pride in that stuff. If I'm sitting there working on something and then I see it show up on the news later, I'm like, WTF, mate? I mean, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's something that you have to address for the workforce. Whether he's feigning frustration or not is another story. But publicly he is, of course.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get it. Or you could just be like Google and be like, hey, come take a look at our stuff. It's coming out this fall. Like, straight up, they don't care. Or you could just do bad marketing like OnePlus.
Because I'm sitting here, I'm like leave the skirt down a little bit. Like I don't want to see everything. I mean, show some legs. Like leave something imagination. I mean, shoot, it just went straight from flipping burgers to skinny dipping.
I'm fine with it. Like, I am completely okay with what Google has done.
I like it, but at the end of the day, like, we're sitting here waiting now. They put this out, it seems like an eternity ago, and we still got a month to wait.
Oh my God. Do you remember when they first put out like this? I think they did this with the Pixel 5 last year. They're like, this is the Pixel 5. See you in 3 months. And it's just like,
well, hey, I mean,
like, thank you.
Pull,
thank you, but we hate you.
Yeah.
At least they didn't pull one out of Microsoft's playbook. It's like, hello, it's November, coming next winter.
what was that for? I remember that.
The Surface Duo, it was in November, and they're like, coming next winter. I'm like, everybody was like, oh, they're going to make an announcement. So we thought it was going to be coming out in April or February.
That's right.
And then it's like, nah, sorry, guys, 12 months from now.
Oh,
like he's showing the functional unit on the video, and he's like, okay, coming next winter.
Next winter, you mean February of the next year, since it's still winter technically? Like, no. We mean literally
like
winter. full calendar from now. Like,
yeah, so that was depressing because a lot of people were really excited about that. And also when they're like, it's got the Snapdragon 855, you're like, bro, are you okay? Like, are you reading the wrong spec sheet?
Did you mean 875?
Is it 855 coming next winter? Like, okay, so like January? No. Last year's processor, next year's winter.
I think they really nailed it with the Duo 2, though.
Here's the thing. If it were the Duo
You pre-ordered it.
I'm a tech reviewer. I mean,
so am I didn't pre-order it.
Like, well, I mean, my channel paid for it. If my channel didn't make enough money to pay for it, I'm not spending $600 on that thing. I'll buy it for $700 in 2 months.
Somebody shark fin right here. The all new James Bond movie coming next November. This is what it felt like when you would get those teases and trailers from the Marvel movies. Imagine with this, it's like Thanos returns coming 2024. Like, oh my God! That can't happen.
It's more like Thanos returns, 30 seconds of action, and then coming in 2024.
I know, look at my mouse. Thanos returns. You'll see it in about 17 to 24 months. Bye. No.
Yeah, that stuff's terrible. But I think Microsoft has taken all the steps from a hardware perspective to give us a good device. But the problem isn't the hardware. People aren't worried about the hardware. They're worried about the commitment from Microsoft to make sure, like, they didn't even say it's running Android 12. So help me, if that thing shows up with Android 10 and has to upgrade to Android 12 out of the box, I'm going to smash it.
It had better be at the minimum Android 11 with a very soon plan to go to Android 12. And I mean very soon within...
It won't have Android. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to have Android 12 because it's with all the stuff that they have to do for the software optimization for their custom user interface and all their crap. It's not going to be Android 12. It's going to be Android 11, and we probably won't see Android 12 till like April. Like, put that pin on the calendar now.
God, blessed be the day.
But they're going to say, you don't need that. I get so tired of this. People are like, oh, Android 10 works just fine. Why do I need something better? I'm like, because the company abandoned your phone and that you paid $1,400 for, who's supposed to be the largest software company in the world, who can't even get their own software updated on their flagship only phone that exists.
Okay. According to Bradley, it says Android 11 is... website says Android 11.
Yeah, probably. I mean, in the keynote, they didn't talk about it. That's all I mean.
So I guess my big thing is like it has to be Android 11 with a really quick turnaround to Android 12. And the whole purpose behind all of that is the optimization that has happened in Android 12 is a tremendous amount. We're talking
it's a ton.
Better battery life, better experience, better RAM management, just a better overall everything. And that's just going to lead to a better experience for every single phone that gets Android 12.
Oh, sure.
So,
and like I said, I think the hardware is there. I think one of the reasons why it's so high is because, one, they jammed all the stuff in there that everybody asked for, which, hey, cool, that's great. But I don't anticipate them selling more than like 800,000 of these.
You don't think so?
Nah.
I'm looking for the next fire sale.
Well, that's why it's priced so high. If they anticipated selling 5 to 7 million of these, which they would never do anyway, it would have to be like $12.99, $13.99. They're just not making enough of them to lower the price. And then two, the audience that's going to buy them is going to buy them regardless. Like, you're not winning a lot of new customers with this. You're winning people that didn't buy it last time because they knew as soon as it came out that I'm not wasting my money on this. This is crap.
When's the next time you think it's going to go on sale?
So this one, let's see, it's coming out October the 21st. Christmas, you're going to be able to get one for $12.99.
You think so? That's quick, man. That's
I'm telling
quick.
you. Look, it happens. Like, Samsung's already dropped their prices on stuff. It's one of those things. The people that are going to buy it day one are going to pay $1,800. They're going to pay $1,700. They're going to pay $1,400. It's just, that's what they do. They're going to charge people $14.99. I'm not going to say guarantee you, but I strongly suggest to you that you'll be able to find a sale Black Friday or Christmas sometime in December, the 128, $12.99.
Completely side note, because Brad brings up a really good point here, is Android 12 makes iOS 15 looks just as stale as it really is. So I have a friend of mine who is a staunch iPhone user, and he says he hates iOS 15.
I hate iOS, period.
If it's
the only reason...
Go ahead, Adam. No.
I was going to say, the only reason I even use an Apple phone is because I'm using it right now. I record all my videos with it. So if I didn't use it for content creation, I probably wouldn't even carry one. Like, I don't care for them. It's not so much that it's just boring, but the value proposition.
Mm-hmm.
I get just like, you can get the exact same experience other than the cameras using an iPhone 8 as you do with an iPhone 13.
Yep.
And that's by design. They have created it so somebody can take their phone anytime and pick up another one, and it's a completely seamless experience. I get that, but there's a lot that's lost in that.
Yep. Absolutely. That's what you're going to say?
I was going to say, if it's the same dear iPhone using friend that I think it is, he had a tweet today about how it is, in his opinion, actually a step backwards from the last iOS, and that it is already dated. It's requiring so many more clicks and taps and check marks and check boxes to get to the apps and the things that you want to use as an iPhone user that, yeah, it actually makes the phone somehow harder to use, which is something that Apple has never, ever been about. So it was a really interesting decision for them to roll this out with every other OS designer or manufacturer or producer trying to make things easier for the consumer to keep them on their phones longer to gather more data.
I mean, I don't know if they would do something like create more complication just to keep people more. I mean, what kind of data are you gathering from adding extra frustration to closing out your menu?
Well, no, he's not saying that they did it on purpose. He found it was strange that Apple, who prides themselves on making their devices so easy to use, that 15 makes it actually more difficult, in his opinion.
I'm trying to think like...
They irritate me so much with that stuff because it's supposed to be so streamlined and simple and easy and efficient, and it's still a giant pain in the butt to close out your apps. It's still a giant pain in the butt to clear out your notifications and go through it. Everything, like, there's so many simple things. It's such a pain in the butt to move your icons around because it shifts everything.
Oh my God, drives me insane.
Why can't I, in the year 2021, with this new 2022 hardware, move my icon where I want without changing everything on the home screen?
Oh my God. How is that still a thing?
Because they made the home screen perfect, Adam. You shouldn't want to change it.
But then the other thing is like, okay, why is there no reset button? And some people are like, oh, you can reset it. Like, look, nobody knows that you press like volume up, volume down, and hit the power button real quick to reset your phone.
I don't need to know a special code to unlock unlimited lives.
That's like up, down, left, right, A, B, select, start. I mean, I don't need the Konami code or the Macarena to reset my phone.
Mm-hmm. Amen. And preach.
How is the iPad Pro the most powerful productivity tablet in the world that makes you rethink what a computer is, and it doesn't even have a calculator?
And it barely has a good filing system.
Oh my gosh! Like I could go on for days on this stuff. Like it's
With
using
you.
anything in the Apple world. If you are not a person, this is not an insult to people, but if you're not a person that just uses your tech at face value, if you're a tech person that's not obsessed with Apple stuff, if you actually like mess with computers ever in your life or like customize or use anything and try and set it up in any efficient way whatsoever, it's maddening.
It is
And that's
maddening.
why Greg was never an Apple user.
True story.
100%.
Right at the end, though.
That man built his own computers from scratch. I remember back in the early Android days, he was rooting and ROMing stuff every single day.
Oh my God,
trying to
drove
get
me
it to
crazy.
work the way he wanted. I remember the first time he had a Note phablet, and when he pulled out the S
Note
Pen,
4.
the Note 4, he pulled out the S Pen and it made Luke Skywalker's lightsaber turning on sound. I was floored. I stared at that phone for like 30 seconds. I was in love. And yeah, I mean, Android has always been built open source to allow the user to determine the best way to use their device as opposed to the manufacturer.
I will tell you though.
I got an. You got 30 seconds.
Huh?
You got 30 seconds.
Me?
Yeah, Adam.
I forgot what I was going to say. Oh my gosh!
I did that earlier. The answer
I
is
got ready to say something, and when you spoke, it just took whatever.
I have that.
my
I have that effect. Just take your breath away. Take your breath away.
All right, Berlin.
All right,
Speaking
Adam.
of, I need Top Gun 2 to hurry up and get here.
Oh Lord, I still won't watch that one. Adam, where can they find you on the internet?
Well, if you want to waste your time, you can. So on YouTube, it's just Tech Odyssey, and then if you go to Twitter, it's Adam J Matlock. You can search up that way. Usually, you're going to get something like my opinion on a movie, or a dumb tweet, or talking about food, something I ate. Likely not tech related, but you can find me there.
Cool. Stats, where can they find you?
About 60 frames per second. On
Yeah,
4K
are you
video.
in 60 frames per second?
There we go.
I'm always on 60 frames per second, baby.
Where can they find you, Stats?
Courtesy of our brand new lower thirds, you can find me at Helix Heinlein on the Tweet Machine and at Country Smith on the Instagram.
Probably should have put those lower thirds up. You can find me at the lower thirds that were right there, at Scott Peachy on Twitter, at the Scott Peachy on Instagram. Adam, my man, thanks for coming on.
Sure. We didn't even talk about the duo all that much. I mean,
Well, I mean, we got into all
There's
kinds.
always
We
next week.
It got deep.
it did.
You put out 3 videos today too. 3.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna go record more?
Yeah, I got 1 or 2 that I want to do for tomorrow.
Machine. Man's a madman.
He
It's
really
mad
not
is.
man.
that difficult. Like I feel like that. What's that guy Tony? What's his name with like the 3-step plan, or anybody can do it. I've got a pretty good system going. I can, if I really need to. I made both of those videos and put them out like an hour piece today.
Good Lord.
I'll put you through a clinic one day.
I'm gonna come down to your house one day.
Do it. We'll go
All
get food, and then we'll get jumbo jacks, and then we'll record.
Yes, deal.
Well, and Dan said he wanted to go fishing, so I think you
Thunder
should charter
Dan.
us a boat.
I should buy a boat. All right, we're getting out of here. Thanks, folks. We'll see you all next week.
Bye.